The Bieber bias is worse than you thought. This goes far beyond a trending topic or a viral meme. It is the invisible force that might currently be sabotaging your career.
Sabrina Carpenter and Karol G will be joined by Justin Bieber as the headliners for Coachella 2026.
In April 2026, Coachella took over the California desert. It is one of the biggest stages in the music industry. The headliners included global icons like Karol G and Justin Bieber, along with the pop powerhouse Sabrina Carpenter. But one of the biggest headlines wasn't about the music. It was a viral comment that exposed a massive double standard. Nice of him to sit and scroll on YouTube. But if I did that, I'd be crucified. Sabrina Carpenter never actually said that. It was a fake quote from a parody account, but it didn't matter that it was a lie. Within 48 hours, it became the viral lens through which everyone viewed the weekend. Because while the words were fake, the reality was painfully visible. On Friday, we saw Sabrina Wood. It was a high-octane 24-dancer theatrical masterclass. She worked for every single cent of her paycheck.
Are you coming in or what?
Then, on Saturday, we saw Justin Bieber. He sat in a folding chair and scrolled through YouTube Premium. The internet called it raw. They called it authentic. But the working girlies on TikTok saw something else. They saw the same Bieber bias that runs your office. It's a world where excellence is the entry fee for women, but authenticity is a luxury only men can afford. Why is trying too hard a critique for her? And not trying at all a status symbol for him? Today, we're dissecting the psychology of the competence penalty and why your extra mile is starting to look a lot like a treadmill.
Take your shoes off.
Friday night at Coachella 2026 was a fever dream. Sabrina Carpenter didn't just perform a set, she built an entire city called Sabrina Wood. There were 24 dancers and 14 costume changes. She brought out Susan Sarandon and Will Ferrell. Every single beat was choreographed to perfection. It was the pinnacle of maximalist effort. Then came Saturday night. The lights dimmed for the $10 million headliner, Justin Bieber, who walked out in a hoodie. He sat in a folding chair and opened a MacBook Pro. For a huge chunk of the set, he scrolled YouTube. He watched his own music videos while singing along. It looked like a guy in his dorm room at 2 a.m., except he was being paid a record-breaking fee to be there. Reports say he made nearly double what Sabrina did, even though her production cost 5 times more to build. Research from Harvard Business School calls this the red sneakers effect. It's a psychological phenomenon where we perceive people who intentionally break effort rules as having higher status. Because he looked like he wasn't trying, the audience inferred he was so powerful he didn't have to. But the data shows this effect is almost exclusively reserved for men. When women break the effort rule, they aren't seen as high status. They're seen as underprepared and unprofessional. This is where the viral fake quote entered the chat. The internet was flooded with that line about being crucified. We now know Sabrina never actually said it, but the quote went viral because it felt like a universal truth. It didn't need to be a fact to be a reality. Because in our culture, we expect women to be overprepared. We view their hard work as the entry fee for the room. But for men, we view a lack of effort as authenticity. His folding chair was labeled raw and intimate, but her city was labeled manufactured and gimmicky. This isn't just about music festivals or pop stars, it's about a bias that follows you everywhere, even into the office, where your excellence is just a Tuesday, but his vibe is considered a stroke of genius. The Coachella stage is just a louder version of your office floor. In your world, this is called the email metaphor. Think about the 5-paragraph message you sent this morning. You agonized over the bullet points and checked every attachment twice. You wanted to sound professional, capable, and helpful all at once. Then your male lead replies with a single letter, K. He is the Bieber in this story. He didn't rehearse, but he still got the read. While you're building Sabrina Wood at your desk, he's just scrolling. This creates what psychologists call the competence penalty. When you are known for being perfect, excellence becomes your baseline. If you don't over-deliver, it looks like you're slipping. You've trained everyone to expect a theatrical masterclass every single day. Meanwhile, your male colleague has trained them to expect a YouTube set. So when he does literally anything, he gets a standing ovation. It's a lopsided scale where your A+ work is just the entry fee. But his C- effort is labeled as a high-level strategy. How deep does this penalty actually go? The answer lies in a specific number that researchers just uncovered. There's a hard number attached to this gut feeling. It comes from a 2026 study by researcher Annie Vella. She analyzed how we perceive shortcuts at work, things like AI templates or automation. Vella found that for women, competence is tied to visible effort. When a woman uses a shortcut, we judge her 13% more harshly. We assume she's skipping steps because she isn't skilled enough to do it the hard way. But for men, that penalty is slashed in half. When he uses a shortcut, he's seen as efficient or strategic. He gets a massive effort discount simply for being a guy. This is the labor requirement for women. Society requires you to show your work to prove you deserve to be there. For him, the result is enough. Think of it this way. If a tech billionaire wears a hoodie to a gala, he's a genius. If an entry-level analyst wears one to a client pitch, she's unfocused. Justin Bieber sitting in a folding chair is a status signal. It says, "I am so famous, I don't even have to try." It's a luxury that Sabrina Carpenter simply cannot afford. She has to show the receipts. She has to prove the labor. For her, the effort is the evidence of her right to be there. Sabrina Carpenter has to show the receipts. Justin Bieber just has to show up. But the harder you work to prove you belong, the more you realize you're walking a wire that he doesn't even see. This leads into what researchers call the tightrope bias. It is the impossible balance women have to strike every day. If you work too hard, you're critiqued for being manufactured or intimidating. But if you don't work hard enough, you're labeled unprofessional or unprepared. Justin Bieber doesn't have to walk a tightrope. He's standing on solid ground with a safety net. Because in our culture, trying too hard is a critique for women, but not trying at all is a power move for men. That is the counterintuitive part. The harder you work to prove you belong, the more society pushes back. The more perfect you are, the more fake you feel to the critics. And the higher you climb, the heavier that burden of perfection becomes. This bias doesn't just apply to rising stars. Even the women with biggest names in the world can't afford the folding chair. Take Karol G, the first Latina headliner in Coachella history. She didn't just show up, she staged a cultural revolution. Reports say she spent 3 times her fee on the show, bringing a mechanical bird and an all-female mariachi band. She told reporters she felt a responsibility to be perfect. And that is the core of the trap. When you're the first, you carry your whole community on your back. If she had sat in a folding chair, the story would be different. People wouldn't just say she was tired. They would say she wasn't ready for the big stage. This is the archetype gap. Men are allowed to be the chill guy. We love the guy who shows up late but is still cool. But women are expected to be the straight A student. We call perfect women manufactured or fake. But we call low-effort women unprofessional. He gets the luxury of the vibe, while you are stuck with the burden of the result. So, what happens when we finally decide to stop running on the treadmill? We've been told the extra mile is a map to the top, but for women it's usually just a loop. Even if we keep running, the bias ensures we stay exactly where we started. While they are vibing, you are burning out. Sabrina Carpenter was never going to get the luxury of the folding chair, and neither are we. Dismantling this treadmill doesn't mean we have to work less, it means the system has to stop working against us. We can't fix a broken machine just by changing how we stand on it. Real change isn't about doing a bad job, it's about a world that finally values the work itself instead of just how much we sweat to finish it. The fix is simple. We have to stop grading men on their vibes while grading women on their perfection. It's time to stop running a race that was designed to keep you stranded. Step off the treadmill and onto the open road. Now that the treadmill is behind you, where are you heading first?